I'm really glad that you're here. This is a unique Sunday for us, a special Sunday for us. Some of you guys don't know, we have a vibrant student ministry at the Quarry, and you don't know because a lot of it happens on Wednesday nights. And so we want to bring that into our Sunday so you know what's going on in the hearts and minds of our kids. Our kids they're not just our future, they're our right now. And we love them, and God is moving and doing some pretty incredible things in their lives. So we're just going to catch a glimpse of that today. And so I just want to encourage you to sit back and to hear how God has been working. With that, Harrison, I'm going to hand this all over to you, and let's do this.
Is it on now? All righty. So, as some of you guys know, we were having a little bit of an adventure these last couple of weeks. So what we did actually, we were not glamping. So some of you guys have gone glamping before, but we actually set up our own tents. Okay, so we thank you guys so much for all of you guys that donated tents. You guys have been a blessing, seriously, because we had like 8 tents, and I had never set up a tent before. I don't know if you guys had set up tents before. But we had some students that, were able to help out and do a good job. And, of course, our leaders did a terrific job. So can you guys just give a hand for the leaders that helped out? Yeah. But what else did we do? We cooked over a fire pit. That was fun, cooking burgers. I had never cooked burgers before, too. So, I mean, no, really, really. So, and over a fire pit, that was a great experience. We slept on the ground. That was fun. Some people brought cots and were a little bit more privileged than the others of us, but that's okay. No, but seriously, I had one of those inflatable things. I don't know what they're called. It was a mat. Yeah, you just like open it and it inflates for you, but it doesn't really inflate for you, so you have to end up, blowing it the rest of the way up. So that's what I did. And I actually slept really good. First trip, middle schoolers, I didn't sleep very good, and mainly because maybe, Wyatt could tell you, he's right there, there's some scary animals outside making noises at like 2 a.m. And so these animals were making noises, and it woke us all up at like 2 a.m., and we're like, I've never heard that animal before. And it just went on for like an hour, and it was just these 3 things hopping around the forest somewhere. I think flying in the trees or whatever. And so I'm there just like, please, no one get out of their tent. Just please, no one get out of their tent. And then I hear a tent start zipping open right next to me. And I'm like, oh, goodness. Someone's getting out of their tent, and someone's going to get eaten. It turned out as my wife, so I was totally cool with it. She's awesome. She's not going to be afraid of any beast. I'm going to be the one afraid of it. But it turned out, I think it was just owls or whatever. But, yeah, no, seriously, we had a blast. We went whitewater rafting, too. These guys got to experience a little bit of that, and some of you guys for the first time, right? Yeah, so some of them for the first time. It was my first time, too, as well, so that was so much fun, too. But I think the best thing about this trip was really getting to experience these guys just worship their hearts out. Like, really worship their hearts out. And it was also cool to just see them grow closer in relationships with one another, grow in their relationships with the leaders, watching the leaders lead, and watching the students just grow closer to Christ. And so, yeah, that's by far the most important part to me, was just seeing relationships grow more intimate with Jesus. So I'm super excited today because you guys are actually going to be able to witness some of the testimonies from the trip and just how God has been working in the lives of these guys. So just give another hand for these guys, and we're going to have, who's speaking first? Ashlyn's going to speak first, so here you go, Ashlyn.
Should I just stand here? Okay. All right, so my name is Ashlyn, and I just graduated this past June, and I've been going to QSM since I was in 6th grade, and I can't believe that I'm already graduated. This trip was so much fun, and it was so fun just to get away for a few days, and it's just been so busy this past month with graduation parties and just constant going, so it was so nice to just get away with all these people who I love so much and just be in each other's company and laugh and have fun, and really just actually get to connect with God too. And we had some super awesome experiences, obviously whitewater rafting and all these things, and I will tell a story that got a little crazy. And so we've gone whitewater rafting before, some of us, like in Colorado, or like I had gone with my family before, but it was always with like a guide who was controlling everything. So maybe you have to paddle like twice and then you just sit there. But this time, like we were the guides, like we were kind of in charge. But it was so much more fun because of course it was chaotic. And I think one of my favorite moments was like we got to our first rapid on our first day, and we were kind of all just like, oh, so tired of paddling. We get to the rapid, and all of a sudden, just utter chaos. Like every raft is like hitting the trees or like going around in rapids. Like me, Ellie, and Akila, we're literally like in the woods. And then like I look at Zachariah and James, and they're just like turning in circles. And it was just so funny to look around at everyone just having fun and just being chaotic. And then also on the second day, we were all moving around to different rafts constantly because, of course, staying in your own raft isn't good enough. We need to be crazy and like pull each other off. But it was fun. Don't worry, we were safe. And and it was so much fun because I don't even remember how I ended up with the people I did because we were switching around so much. But we were going through this super cool park called the Dells, which has these super high like cliffs. And we were going down, everything was good. We were kind of side by side with the raft, which you probably shouldn't be. We're just talking, so it was me and Levi and Dom next to Cassie and Reese and Alexis, and we're just like talking like, this is so chill, we're just hanging out. All of a sudden, their raft like goes into this cove, and they're up against the wall, and I look at Cassie's face, and it was so funny. She was literally just like, her face was in shock, and she was like, help us, and like the water was hitting them, and we're just, oh my gosh, and they had to like jump out of their raft, and then we were down a raft, and so then when we went over the last waterfall, we had 4 people in our raft, and we definitely fell, but it was all fun. And it was just super fun to be laughing with each other, and just, it was so beautiful, and to see everything, and just know that God is so good, and he kept us safe and let us have so much fun. But yeah, that was just one really fun experience. Also, just camping, of course, is super fun. It's good to just be outside all the time and just be in God's creation. And I love worshiping around the campfire. There's something about it that just really, I feel so connected to God, because you look up and you see the stars and you see the moon, and you just know that he's just there with us and he loves us. And it was just really good to have that experience, because I've been feeling very overwhelmed just with the transition of going to college soon and just moving away from everything. So it was good to be able to connect with God. And for me, I have felt very stuck in the in-between, not super on fire for God and not super like abandoning God. And I think a lot of us can relate to that. It's easy to get caught in the just in between, just being stuck in the mundane almost, like not super crazy high experiences and not super low. And I just think it's like we're not honest with each other enough about how often that happens. And I've just felt very stuck in that over the last couple months, just from being busy and just from feeling distracted. And so it was good to get away for a few days and realize that. And it's just good to talk with each other about that. And I'm really excited now because as I've came back, I've been super excited to just dig into God's word these last couple months before I go to college and really feel rooted in my faith, and not just talk to God when it's convenient or when I need him, because I need to talk to God all the time, because growing up is hard and I'm kind of scared to go to college, but I know that if I stay rooted in my faith and I seek God first, that everything will work out. And so, yeah, I just say this trip helped me realize that it's okay to get stuck in those spots, but to not stay there, and to just open myself up to talking with people, and not only talking with God, but I think it's so good to pour into other people, and that was another thing I realized on the trip. It was really good to talk with the girls that are younger than me and just try to build into them and be able to help them out and hear their stories, and it was so cool to see them open up. That's another amazing thing about trips. You just see everyone come together who usually wouldn't talk together, and it's so amazing to see them just become closer with each other and laughing with each other. And that was another amazing thing, just seeing everyone together on all the rafts. It didn't matter if you even knew them that well or not. Like, you were just whitewater rafting with each other, and I just love that about these trips. And yeah, I'm just really excited and so thankful for all the leaders who have built into me since 6th grade. They have literally made such a difference in my life. I've had Noah as a leader since 6th grade, and I wouldn't be where I am without him. And just all the leaders I've had and all the new people, and I just am so thankful for you guys. The trip was so fun. And yeah, let me make sure there wasn't something else I was going to say. Yeah, sorry. Okay. I would just like to say these trips are so awesome, but sometimes we have too high of expectations of just connecting with God on such a crazy way, and all of us crying and like, oh, I can feel God so much. And I wouldn't say that I was like feeling that on the trip, and I think that's okay too, because sometimes I think we just, I don't know, we just get too caught up in like the feeling like, oh, I need to feel God like right here. But I think it's important that even when you're not feeling God, to choose to read the Bible and to dig into His Word. And I just think I don't know, that's what I feel on all the trips. Like, sometimes there's too high of expectation, and I think that this trip really just helped me realize that I need to really make my faith my own, and I need to dig into His Word every day. I need to just really rely on God as I go into college and just be strong in my faith. And I'm so thankful for all the people that I know will always support me. And yeah, I think that's it.
So I'm Zachariah. I have everything on here, so I'm gonna keep it out. I didn't memorize it all like Ashlyn did. So I also just graduated. I've been in QSM since 6th grade, so I've been doing this for a while. Although I've only been on 2 trips. I went on this one and then one in 8th grade. And they were just both like such amazing experiences. Like, I just can't recommend going on trips enough. Even if, I don't even know. Like, even the church does ones not just for kids. So, like, if you feel like you're being called to go, like, as an adult, you totally should, because they're so worth it. And yes, but this was my last trip as a student. It's kind of bittersweet because, you know, like, it's super fun that I got to spend time with my friends, but it's also, like, you know, there's, like, a few people that I got really close to that I didn't talk to that much before, and which is cool, but also, like, a little sad because, you know, we're leaving soon. But again, I can come back as an adult, so I'm not stressing too much about it. So also, this was my first time camping. Like, when I was little, my family's idea of camping is where we would set up air mattresses in our like screened-in tent, or not tent, our screened-in deck, and so our idea of camping was sleeping like 5 feet away from like our kitchen, and if we got cold, we would just go inside. So I wasn't super experienced. Honestly, the thing that most shocked me was just how many bugs there were. I was not prepared. I hate bugs, and they're just everywhere. And like, it was just so, like, I have so many bug bites. Look at my forehead. I don't know if you can see that, but there's so many somehow. I don't know how they all bit my forehead, but, and like also just, oh my gosh, like the worst thing was like the bathrooms and the showers, like there's just like spiders everywhere, and it was so nasty, but you just have to ignore it. But it also like was kind of good because now, like, like the past few days when I've been home, like if I see a few bugs, like it doesn't faze me at all, which is good because, you know, like I feel like fearing bugs is a pretty stupid fear to have because they're everywhere. So if you don't get over it, you're gonna hurt yourself. Also, yeah, whitewater rafting was probably like probably one of the most memorable parts of the trip. Ashlyn talked a lot about it, but there was just so many crazy moments that happened. Like there was one, well, like I guess it's kind of funny, but also like scary because like I like fell off and then I was like stuck under my raft. But I mean, I'm okay, so it's fun to tell the story. Also, something fun. So a few of us, like on the last night, we we pulled a little stealth mode and like snuck out of our tents and like hung out at the bathrooms all night, which I know the leaders probably aren't too happy to like hear about. but like those are the things that make the trip memorable, you know? So I'm okay with telling everyone about it because it was a lot of fun just like hanging out with my friends and like trying to be quiet but also like laughing, and then like it was funny. Um, and yeah, I would also say just probably, yeah, the most meaningful part for me, well, um, no, the part that I most like remember is just like spending time with friends and like not having the distraction of my phone, because like it's so easy. Like I'll just sometimes like I'm at home and I'll just go on my phone for a little bit and then all of a sudden spend like 3 hours. So it's really nice to not have that and just actually have to like spend your time doing things that you feel good about afterwards. Um, and yeah, I kind of just use the trip to, I really, yeah, not having the distraction of my phone, I was really just able to kind of take a step back and just like examine, like check in with myself, see how I'm doing, um, see how my relationship with God is doing. And I think I sort of was realizing, like during the trip, like, because I've just been at like a very stagnant point in my faith. And I think that's because like, I get distracted by my phone all the time. And then also just having, I think having like, oh my gosh, what am I trying to say? I guess I'm trying to say like when you are like, oh my gosh, okay, I'll come back to that because I know it'll come to me. All right, yeah, basically I just kind of used the trip to figure out my relationship with God and realize that, all right, this is what I was gonna say. It's not important, as like Ashlyn was saying, to have like huge big moments. I think a big reason I was just kind of stagnant is because every time I would like try to do something, it would be like a huge leap forward, and like I just kind of kept tripping, and it didn't work. And I think the trip really made me realize to just like take a few deep breaths and just like go slowly, and go at my own pace, because that's how I'm actually gonna like get things accomplished, is if I go at the pace that feels comfortable for me. And I really realized that over the trip. And so the last few days, I've just really taken a lot slower and like at a comfortable pace, and it actually feels comfortable. And so I'm really happy for myself and for God for showing me that over the trip. Um, and also, sort of a scary point on the trip. I guess this wasn't technically on the trip, but it was like when we got back to the church and then we were driving home. Me, Ashlyn, and James got in like a pretty serious car accident, and none of us were hurt. Obviously, cars can be replaced, people can't. But like, I'm just so thankful. It was basically like we came up to an intersection where we had to stop, but the cross traffic didn't stop. But Ashlyn thought it was a 4-way stop, and it wasn't, and so we got hit. Sorry, Ashlyn. It's all right. I forgive you. But well, no, anyways, it was like I'm just so thankful. Like I know that God is watching over us just by the driver from the other car, because luckily she slammed on the brakes enough that it just hit the back of our car, and luckily didn't hit James because he was sitting in the back seat on the right side, and it was really scary that honestly we were really close to somebody getting really hurt. And so I'm just really thankful that God was watching over us. And then also, like, the woman that hit us was an off-duty police officer, which was very helpful because she was really good at calming us down and not, stopping us from freaking out, because that would have just made the situation so much worse. And so afterwards, I just really, I got a little emotional afterwards just because I was I just really felt protected by God in that moment, even though it was a very scary thing. Like, I know that God was watching over us, and, he gave that woman the experience to help us through the situation. And then also, Pastor Michael and Atira and Ellie were driving past when we were on the side of the road, too, so they, also stopped and helped us, and it was just really comforting having them there. So back to my relationship with God. I think a big thing that I also realized was just that, when, I think I kind of realized that, my relationship with God doesn't have to look a specific way. I think in church there's sometimes just that expectation, the people that get praised for sort of doing everything right. They wake up early, meditate, pray for an hour, go feed some homeless people, go adopt some orphans, and then do it all again the next day. And that's just not realistic for a lot of people. And I think I realized that that's okay to not always be doing, I mean, obviously you want to like try your best and do as much as you can, but it's like you don't have to feel inadequate if you don't accomplish all those things. And I think that's also just an important thing for me that I learned, was that I can just go at my own pace and I don't have to try to like force and be something that I'm not, I guess. So in the end, I'm just so thankful for this trip. It really just helped me recenter my focus, and I'm so thankful for the leaders and keeping us safe. Like even when we were rafting and like we fell in, and like when I was stuck under the raft, like I never felt truly afraid because I knew that all the leaders were right around me, and if I really did need help, they would get me. Like I didn't want to have to, need them to like give me CPR, but they didn't. But I knew that they were there the whole time, and that was just really comforting. And so, yeah, I'm just thankful that I got to slow things down. I'm thankful for the church just for giving us the opportunity to go on this trip. I mean, like, we paid for it ourselves. But, like, the opportunity was brought forth by the church. So thank you, everyone.
I don't know how I can follow that one up. They're so good. I'm Ellie Gross. I'm a senior this year, and this was my last trip too as a student. I've been on a lot of mission trips. Every year I've had the opportunity to go and serve, and I've had amazing leaders like Christy Metcalf, Peggy Perkins, Josh Miller, Noah, and Jolie, and Harrison and Natalie, obviously, this year. They've really been able to build into me, and I'm so thankful that they sacrificed their time to really help me grow in my relationship with God, because that has been such a blessing to me. Yeah, the trip was so fun. We stayed up way too late. No sleep at all on the last night, which was amazing. But I had so much fun rafting with my gang. I had an all-girl group on the first day, and everyone was like, "You guys can't do it. Like, you're going to be too weak." But no. We made gains. We were at the back, but we made it to the front, and we showed everyone that we were powerful. So that was so, so fun. And what I think Zachariah and Ashlyn have talked about is just like we have these stories, and I think what we expect on mission trips or any kind of retreat is that God is going to meet us in this perfect way, and you're going to feel overwhelmed with emotions and just feel God. And I think that's kind of an unhealthy way to do it, because I think what I was waiting for on this trip was like for God to meet me. But I can't wait for God, Like every one of these trips, I've had that experience where I'm just brought to tears and so thankful for God. But it's like I'm in this dry season, and I'm just like, oh yeah, God will pull me back out, and I'm gonna get back on track, be back on the mountaintop. And what we talk about so often at the Quarry is being authentic, because we want to have a community that's committed to growing a contagious, intimate relationship with God that's authentic. And I'm just going to be real right now, like, I'm not perfect, and I don't have everything figured out. And just because I'm the pastor's kid doesn't mean that I will be able to give you every answer. So on this trip, I was just like, yeah, being a leader, which was amazing, but I really realized that I can't just go on these trips to be filled up, because it's my job now as a Christian to chase after God. I can't wait for him to keep coming back to me, because he's done it so many times, and I need to be a disciple, and I need to chase after him. So I just want to read this passage to you. 1 second. It's from Jeremiah 17:5-8. And it says, "This is what the Lord says. Cursed is the one who trusts in man, who draws strength from mere flesh, and whose heart turns away from the Lord. That person will be like a bush in the wastelands. They will not see prosperity when it comes. They will dwell in the parched places of the desert, in a salt land where no one lives. But blessed is the one who trusts in the Lord, whose confidence is in him. They will be like a tree planted by the water that sends out roots by its streams. It does not fear when heat comes. Its leaves are always green. It has no worries in a year of drought, and it never fails to bear fruit. So right now, I feel like that parched bush. I'm in a drought season, just like how it's a little dry out here. And I've been surrounded by a great community, and this trip was amazing. Harrison gave an amazing message. Noah had perfect worship, and it wasn't like the environment around me wasn't good for me to be growing in my relationship with God. It's more that it's like I'm carrying an umbrella, and the water isn't getting on me because I'm not letting it, and because I'm not reaching out to God. So as I go out into college, I would ask that you guys pray for me, and and if you also are feeling this way, like, don't pretend that your relationship with God is perfect, because we need to be real with each other. And so if you're feeling this way, I want to pray for you too. And let's not just wait for God to come to us. Let's read the Bible and reach out to each other and grow together to get closer to him. Thank you.
Awesome, thanks. What an amazing group of students, guys. And these are 3 seniors right here, all graduating, getting sent off to college. And so it's been a real privilege just to help pastor them and help lead them. And these guys are, as you got to see, super authentic and just in love with Jesus. But yeah, it's great to know though that sometimes we just don't feel it. Sometimes it just doesn't hit us. And I think Ellie did a great job at talking about, sometimes these trips, we'll get experience a lot of times where we're up in the air and we're going crazy, when we're coming off on a high and we feel amazing, but sometimes you just don't get that. And it's more about really digging in deep and fighting for growing intimate with Jesus and fighting to serve other people even when you don't feel it. And that's what true faith is. And so, I really appreciate all of you guys, just everything that you guys have set up here. And I know you guys are young, but I think we all can learn from these students. So why don't we just give another round of applause for all of them? So it's been a real blessing to, just be a part of these trips. And I'm just so thankful for all of you guys who helped out. A lot of you guys, like I said before, sent tents. I got a trailer. I'm forgetting some stuff, but we got a lot of stuff from people. And so we thank you all so much. We even had, I don't know if Megan's here yet, but she was like vacuuming up one of the vans, the middle school van for the boys, because that one was just messy. And then, we had to say, no more, you middle school boys got to finish that off. But yes, no, seriously, thank you guys so much. And we just couldn't do this without the church. It's really you guys just backing this trip and helping us out. I'd never seen a tent before, and you guys sent tents. So, no, really though, we're extremely thankful. The student ministry is so thankful. QSM is thankful for everything that you guys do. And so just give yourself a round of applause.